Hi, I'm here to talk about Batman Returns. Uh, it's the film that has the honor of being my favorite Christmas film, and it could seem like an unusual choice for a favorite Christmas film. I think that it still counts because of it taking place during holiday stuff and lots of snow going on. Lots of imagery that looks like Christmas imagery, despite a lot of imagery that I think wouldn't normally be thought of when thinking about the holidays because of uh, the villainous stuff that a lot of the characters are doing. I think it works really well as a kind of unusual gothic take on Christmas, and I think it's one of the most fascinating films to take place in the holidays because of it. And Batman Returns is my favorite Tim Burton film, although I also love the 1989 Batman film a lot and the 2010 Alice in Wonderland film. It's my second favorite Batman film, only behind the 1966 Batman film, and it's also my second favorite superhero film. And it's one of my favorite films in general. I think that it's still in my top 15. I think it's one of the most stylish looking films ever made. I think it has the most impressive visual style of any superhero film that there's ever been. I'm a huge fan of Michael Keaton as Batman. I think that he's one of the best Batman actors of all time. He was my favorite Batman actor as a kid. As time went on, I developed a real soft spot for the wholesome feeling Adam West Batman, but I still have a huge soft spot in my heart for Michael Keaton's Batman. And I know that the villains have a lot of screen time in Batman Returns, but Michael Keaton as Batman is so good. The performance is amazing, and I love just about everything about Batman in the film. He doesn't feel like a supporting character to me. It doesn't feel like he's barely in it. He still feels incredibly prominent, and I actually love how the film has Batman sharing screen time with the villains. Because there are a lot of great superhero films that are about a hero learning a big lesson, growing into a more heroic person, but there are times where I want to watch a superhero film that's so much fun, and I feel like Batman Returns is one of the most fun superhero films of all time, and I think that focusing so much on the villains helps out with that, and the film has three great prominent villains. Danny DeVito's performance as the Penguin is wonderfully entertaining. The film does a great job of giving Penguin a tragic backstory while also having him be incredibly evil and misguided. He's a very fascinating character where he's a character that has a sympathetic backstory, but after that, he is very evil. Um, Michelle Pfeiffer, I think, is still the best Catwoman actress, although there are some other great Catwoman actresses. And I think that the film's take on Catwoman is possibly the most interesting take on Catwoman that there's ever been. I think it being so different, the comics actually helps. I think it's such a fascinating way to have Catwoman be in the film where Catwoman really feels like she fits in as a Batman villain because in a lot of versions of Batman she feels a lot less over the top than Batman's other villains, but Batman Returns really lets her be incredibly fun to watch. I love Christopher Walken in the film. I feel like Max Shrek could have easily just been a one dimensional businessman that's more in the background, just a typical character to dislike and not much more. But Max Shrek has a lot of screen time because I don't think Batman Returns as a film about a trio of characters. I think of it about as a quad of characters because Max Schreck really is a huge player in the story and has a lot to do, and he's incredibly entertaining. I feel like he has a lot more personality than a businessman character that's an antagonist would normally have in a film. Michael Goth, wonderful as Alfred, incredibly likable. Uh, Penguin's circus members are a lot of fun for characters that could have just been generic sort of henchmen characters. I actually think they fit in with the creativity and the style of the film. The visuals are incredible. I love the music. I think it's great, and it does feel a lot different than what Batman normally is. But in my personal opinion, the 1966 Batman film is the only live action Batman film that feels like comic book Batman to me, and it feels like the comic book Batman of a long time ago. But it is an era that I love a lot. Um, the other live action Batman films feel like a different take on Batman. So if they're going to go on a different take, I would want it to be a fascinating, creative, really fresh feeling take. And I think that's what Batman Returns really provides, and it's why I love it so much. For me, it's definitely a 10 out of 10 film, and I think that it holds up because there are a lot of modern superhero films that have really strong visuals, and some of them do look amazing and were incredibly well made, but I still feel like Tim Burton's Batman films hold up as the most stylish and interesting looking superhero films of all time.